Hello, I'm Marissa, and today I'm going to talk to you about my major project, which is actually a mental health Tamagotchi machine. So, the reason I had made one is because it will help people that are struggling with mental illness and just signs of mental illness just perform daily tasks of living, such as waking up in time, making sure they eat something each day, and making sure they drink water and going to bed at a reasonable time. When our program is run, we're able to meet our mental health Tamagotchi guy, Brian. Brian asks us tasks throughout the day that contribute to our mental health. At 8 a.m., Brian will wake us up. To silence the alarm, I press the button. At 9:05 a.m., Brian will be giving us our first question about how we have been doing today. If we select no, Brian becomes sad and tells you to drink your water. Brian will ask again in 3 hours if we have drinking our water. This time around, we will tell Brian that we have drinking our water today. Brian is now happy. At noon, Brian will then ask us if we have eaten anything today. If we say no, Brian will be sad. And we'll tell you to make a meal. This task is only asked once per day. Brian is happy and tells you that you've done a good job. Brian has one more main function. At 11 p.m., Brian will tell you to go to sleep. Now this is my main code, and this is where I run, and at the beginning I just initialize my Arduino, and then we have Brian, the Tamagotchi animated character, doing his intro and just introducing himself. And then we have our timer tasks initialized and set up at the bottom. Before I go into detail on the timer tasks, I will now explain how I get Brian's wonderful face. So we have an animations file, and we have a couple animations. We have a happy face animation, a sad face animation, and a blinking animation. These animations are used throughout the following tasks that are there. So the first task we have is the Wake Me Up task, and the Wake Me Up task uses the OLED and the LED, the buzzer, and the button to beep, and it turns off when the button is pressed. The next task is the drink water task. This task runs first time at 9:05 a.m. and then every 3 hours following that, and it basically just asks you whether or not you've drinking your water. But we have a cool conditional statement here, which allows me to move the potentiometer around and use the potentiometer button to select and make a choice on the LED screen. So the Have You Eaten task is very similar to the drink water task, and a lot of code has been reused from one task to another task, and basically has the same yes or no option with the potentiometer and LED. Yeah. The go to sleep task is the most simple task, and basically just has Brian the brain telling you that it's probably a good time to go to bed.